What's up, guys? Welcome to the first ever E3 2015 Nintendo Direct Kind of Funny Gamescast. As always, I'm Tim Geddes. I'm joined by the coolest dudes in video games, Colin Moriarty and Greg Miller.
Yeah.
And
I'm the champion. Thank you.
Yeah.
for the first time on the Kind of Funny Gamescast, Justine.
Hi, I voiced to them. I was like, I'm not a dude.
Yeah, well, they're the
Well, you're
coolest
not.
dudes.
No, that's our moniker.
I just assumed that you were talking about everybody here. I was like, I'm not a dude, but I can be a dude.
You're
be
best
You
whatever.
are,
selling
you are one of the
author.
coolest dudes. From now on, you are one of the coolest dudes in video games.
Thanks,
Justine.
really.
This is going to be great. So the Nintendo Direct just happened. We're going to run through all of the announcements and then we'll discuss them. It started off with Star Fox Zero on the Wii U coming holiday 2015. I'm excited for that one. Then Super Mario Maker. They talked about it a bit. They showed that there's a bunch of costumes for you. You can be Wii Fit Trainer, Zelda, or Link. They didn't show Zelda. Whole bunch of different stuff. That's great.
Do you know that Zelda's actually the princess in that
Spoilers,
game?
Greg.
Yeah,
Spoilers.
sorry, just letting you know.
September 11th, 2015 is when we're getting that guy.
No respect.
Then Skylanders. Big announcement that came out of nowhere. They're making Bowser and Donkey Kong Skylanders that are also amiibos.
So
They can
excited.
do everything.
So there's that. Then Zelda Triforce Heroes announced, which is essentially 3 Sword Adventures on the 3DS. Then Hyrule Warriors Legends, which leaked a while back, but it's coming to 3DS, first quarter 2016. Metroid Prime Federation Force. People thought this was going to be called Ball Blasters or some shit. But
That would have been a better
no.
name.
Yeah.
And it's first quarter 2016,
it was called
3DS
that.
game.
Metroid Prime Ballbuster.
Yeah. Then Fire Emblem Fates. It is the localization of Fire Emblem If in Japan. They didn't really go into too many details if they're going to do the 2-game thing. But, it's Fire Emblem. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to
2016.
bring 30 new characters to Smash
Yeah,
Bros.
great.
Yes, which is exciting. Fire Emblem Cross Shin Megami Tensei. We saw a trailer. It didn't make any sense because it wasn't in English, and I didn't understand what they were doing. There was a lot of dancing
Konnichiwa.
around, so that was cool. Then Animal Crossing Happy Home. I knew she'd like that. 3DS. Then Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival on Wii U. It's like Mario Party, but it's a festival, and there's amiibos involved. Then Yoshi's Woolly World. Hell yeah. Did they get a release date for that? I didn't write that down.
I don't know.
Damn it.
I was kind of just staring
yeah.
at those gorgeous amiibos.
I'll Google for you, but I don't think they did. Yeah,
I hope they did.
that Yoshi is so
I
good.
hope they
That
did.
game
I
looks
really hope
awesome.
I
Well,
missed
we're
it.
going to talk about that in a
Then
second.
Yokai Watch, which might be the one thing that Colin in the conference was like, wait, what's happening?
Yeah, I forgot that Yokai Watch is actually coming out. That game was massive in Japan. So it's, level 5. I love level 5. Great developer. So, yeah, I'm excited about that. But not the game I'm most excited about on this list.
Oh. Then a new title, Mario and Luigi Paper Jam.
Ooh, I missed this. I was
Oh,
on my
really?
way here. Yes.
See,
Tell me.
this is a genius game because it combines the Paper Mario world with the Mario and Luigi world into one RPG world, and it's called Paper Jam because they're jamming them together. I'm all about that. All about that. Mario Tennis Ultra Smash on Wii U.
I'm sorry, did you say tennis?
Yes.
Okay, I would just
Oh, yeah.
was
Mario
making
Tennis
sure I heard this
on the
correctly.
Wii U.
It's back, and it's going to
It
be
is
better than
back.
ever.
And then they closed out with Mario 30th Anniversary. There's a new amiibo where it's a 30th Anniversary amiibo, and you can do a bunch of stuff with it, Mario Maker and all that stuff. So that was the Direct, and then it ended. There was
Can we
no...
go back to that 30th anniversary amiibo?
Yeah,
Because
yeah, we can.
what was it?
So it looks like the little 8-bit Mario.
It's huge.
It's
Shut
big.
up.
It's a big old one, yeah.
Really? Oh my god, I'm so obsessed with amiibo.
Big ol'
Like,
amiibo.
I honestly
Big ol'
need to get a
amiibo.
separate house for
For
my
your
amiibo.
amiibo? Yeah.
And now with all these new announcements, like it's
Yeah, there's going to be a
I'm
lot
out
of amiibos.
control.
There was Animal Crossing amiibos, obviously, for the festival. There was... I think that was... Oh, well, then there's the Skylanders ones.
Well, and then they announced a couple new ones the other day too.
Oh, yeah.
So
all the
this is
new
gonna-
Smash
yeah.
ones coming out. So that's exciting. What do you guys care the most about here? Colin.
Mario Maker.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
Did you guys watch the Nintendo Championship?
We saw bits and pieces of it,
Oh man,
and it looked good.
pretty awesome.
That really sold the game to me. Like, to me, that is one of my contenders for the game of the show, for sure. Already.
Mario Maker?
Mario Maker.
Yeah, of course.
The potential there is endless. I cannot wait to play what other people make. I'm going to fool around with making them myself, but not really my thing. I want to play games. I don't want to make games.
Colin
I'm
says he's
excited
going to
that
make
I
them
can.
so hard I can't play
Well,
it.
good. I want to play Colin's games.
You say this now, and then you probably are
I
going to
know.
get it, and you're like, "This is so much fun."
Yeah.
I think that's what's going to be so cool is like the whole social aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, you can share the stuff on Twitter. I mean, I'm sure you guys are going to make some kind of funny,
Oh, yeah.
crazy games.
Some
so.
things will be kind of funny.
Yeah, the game looks extraordinary. I mean, just, the one thing that made me cringe as a guy who studied history and worked at a Massachusetts Historical Society when I was in college is watching them, and I was saying it over and over again, watching them handle those design documents with the hex art on them and stuff like that from the 80s. I'm like, why are you touching these things? And our friend Scott Stankowski, Sin,
Yeah.
who works over at Apple, we used to work with him at IGN, tweeted out, he's like, it's horrible. Like, they're making new creases. Like, they're folding them back up and stuff. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, so I
Put
don't
them
know.
in a
Did you see
museum.
this?
It belongs
When they were
in a
talking about Mario
museum.
Maker, Miyamoto actually had the original designs for like the first Mario levels that they like hand drew and stuff. So
And
it
they're
was
just like
pretty cool.
throwing them on the table and like folding them. I'm like, what the like? How is someone? How do they not cognizant enough to know that those belong in a museum somewhere? That was actually what I walked away from.
Yeah.
Those
most
were the
from that conference.
Actual original one?
Yeah,
I mean, it
they
looked like them.
they looked like the original ones. They looked worn
Oh my gosh.
and weathered.
They've
And I'm sure
seen
that
things.
I'm sure they have them just laying around. But you'd think that they'd have some sort of historian that would be like, no, you
No.
need to like not touch these anymore. Now they're gone now.
Yeah, so Mario Maker, we've seen it a million times, but it's really good to finally have a release date, and it's pretty soon. September 11th is not that far away.
yeah, I'm through the roof about that game. Really,
Yeah.
like I just Mario made a gamer out of many of us, including me, and I couldn't help but smile when they were showing the montages of all the games and stuff like that. Those are games that we hold near and dear to us. They even showed Super Mario 2, which I thought was funny.
Yeah.
Which
I
is
still really like that game.
I love
yeah,
that game.
I love that
Me
game
too.
too,
So
but
much.
I'm surprised that they're acknowledging its
Yeah.
existence as a real Mario game. They showed it for like 2 seconds. But yeah, Mario Maker is going to allow us to kind of like deal kind of in this hex design philosophy that they dealt with for so long. And it's funny to hear how it seemed like they were tools that they used internally that they then just made into a game. So I don't know. I'm excited about it. It's one of
Mario
the only
Maker-
games there that was interesting to me.
That's one of the things. Mario Maker was the most interesting game. I think the most interesting announcements was the Skylanders Amiibo hybrid. Like that's
That's
really
kinda
we've
crazy.
talked about it before that Nintendo is tone deaf and doesn't listen and is trying to silo itself. And you really see them with the announcement, obviously the mobile stuff. Now with this announcement, they're working with Activision that they're trying to get their properties out there, get it to new people, get it to where kids are. So they figure out, oh, Donkey Kong and Dry Bones sure are cool dudes. We need to go play those other games. Not to mention that those you can then crank the base and they go from being a Skylander to being an amiibo,
Crank
which
the
is
base.
brilliant.
Well, I think that's the problem too. Is the amiibo? There's not much you can do with them.
Yeah.
Like I mean, once you tap them on your console, great. I have like a costume. I can do only a few things, and then you just set them on your shelf, and they look cool. So I think they really do need to kind of expand that. And I like that they start saying it was like the transformation. I mean, they're going into mobile. I mean, this is going to be huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I've said it before about Amiibo, like they should have just made toys, and that's what they basically did. Like we don't need the functionality. Who cares? Like that, like just release your awesome toys with these awesome sculpts of all these great action figures, basically, and
You
I'll
hope
buy
that
them
one day they have a plan for where it's going, right? They have an idea of what they want to do with this thing eventually. But yeah, right now,
I think
nothing.
I think it's the thing of it's marketing for their games.
Sure.
You know? It's like I feel like there's a bunch of copies of Captain Toad Treasure Tracker that were sold because of Amiibo, just because it had functionality. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
People just bought it.
But I mean, like, it's what we always go back to, and we need to get back to what was actually announced. But I mean, like, if they would just like they're selling, this 8-bit Mario, right? If they would sell him with, and in his base was the original Mario Brothers, right? If there was
That's
some
pretty
cool pack-in like that unlocked a game, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, definitely. So for me, Star Fox, we need to talk about Star Fox.
It's kind of exciting.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
it
they've been
is.
talking about it forever. It's like
Oh my god. Yeah, so to finally see it, I was very excited. I'm happy that it is a on-rails shooter. There's the all-range mode. It is classic Star Fox. There was no on-foot shenanigans going on.
There's like an on-ship,
no,
on-foot
There
robot
was
that was
vehicles.
running
There was
around.
a transformer thing that I thought looked cool.
Okay.
And it was nimble, and I liked that. There wasn't any Fox on foot with awkward camera angles.
I was hoping they were going to go back to the Star Fox Adventures design
No,
philosophy personally.
no.
but-
How do you feel about all like the motion controls with
I don't like
the
this.
gamepad? Because even playing Splatoon, I mean, they were really trying to get you to really play with the motion controls, and that's default settings. But then I turned it off immediately.
Yeah.
Because it's just not how we're accustomed to playing games, and I don't feel like it's that accurate.
The thing with that is, and I've been scared about this for a while, specifically with Star Fox, because they've been talking about they want this to be the Wii U gamepad game. And I'm really excited that when he was talking, he said you can use motion, or you can use the gamepad.
The
He didn't say
gyroscopes
you
to
have
look around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then the way they were showing it, I was like, oh man, I don't know how they would.
Yeah, how do you do it without it? Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like that scares me a little bit. I definitely want to get my hands on it and see how it feels, because that's worrisome. It's a different type of game if you were to play it with the gamepad, because then you're controlling your ship and aiming separately.
Yeah.
Whereas Star Fox it's one thing typically. You know what I mean? So I hope that I can play it old school style, because it definitely is very exciting to me. Like, this is Star Fox. is
You've
one
been
of
waiting
my-
a long
yeah,
time for this.
it's
Did it
one of my
live up to the
franchises.
hype, though, is the question. What did you see? Were you like, that looks awesome? Or
Oh
did
yeah,
you see,
I
like,
mean, this is what I wanted. And the thing there is, it's like, was it a beautiful game? No, it really wasn't. It was like kind of empty
Yeah.
in a lot of ways. But I don't need that much going on for Star Fox. Like it looked like Star Fox 64, but nicer in HD. That's really all I need.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked by how it looked actually, because Nintendo first party typically extracts an incredible amount out of the limited power of their hardware, and you get games like Mario Galaxy, which is arguably not in HD even, and arguably the prettiest game of that generation. And I was looking at Star Fox, and I'm like, this game, and we were talking about it, I was like, this game looks ancient. Like, it doesn't even look old. Like, this game actually looks really old. And I don't know.
He goes, it took 10 years to make this?
Yeah, like, I don't.
What have they been doing?
I don't care. I don't really care about the graphical fidelity. I care about systems being more powerful, especially for Nintendo, in order to attract third parties that they need to succeed. But I don't really care about graphics. If the game's fun, then that's all that really matters. But I was stunned because there's some really pretty games on Wii U, and that didn't look like one of them. And this is this might be arguably the last or one of the last first-party games on Wii U. So you expected more out of it. And it was clearly a game that has been in development for a while.
Yeah, the look of it kind of reminded me of Hyrule Warriors, where it doesn't look like the Zelda game. You know what I mean? It has the elements and stuff, and it's pretty, and it's like, the fidelity of it is nice, but it's just like there's not that much going on, and it looks kind of empty and barren.
That was the thing, and I mean, I'm not trying to harp on it, but like even Hyrule Warriors, when I watch Hyrule Warriors and have seen demos and played it at demos, like it's like, oh, there's a lot of color here, there's a lot of things happening. There's like with Star Fox, there was like parts where you're in the sky and it's just like this blue and cloudy, and like, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't like the textures looked flat.
To be fair, that's the sky.
Sure, but you know what I'm saying? Like, where was this? Is the same thing we saw, of course, in the movie The Aviator. Leonardo DiCaprio's finest role, and he needed to have clouds in the background so the planes looked like they were going fast.
What's going to be interesting, like, who are they targeting? Are they targeting like the old school people, or like kids now that are going to pick this up and be like, this game is not something that I want to play?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit half and half, which is a classic Nintendo move, and I mean, it works for them. You know what I mean? But it's just like, it's not exactly what I want, but I want to play it. I don't want to judge this game too harshly until I play it, because it's more what I want than I thought they were going to give me. So I'm happy about that. I thought it was going to be a lot worse than this.
That's good. So you're okay.
Very good. I'm okay. I'm okay.
You'd be hard-pressed to find a game that Miyamoto has his hands on that's bad. I have no problem that the game is going to be bad. I was just like, I don't know who it appeals to. It appeals to people that already have a Wii U. You know, we've talked about it before. If Cart and Smash didn't sell Wii Us and they didn't, then this isn't going to either. This is for the endemic audience that's already there, and this is basically, you assume the second to last first party game that's going to be on Wii U, Zelda being the last one, because they're ramping it down, and that's what I kind of saw out of this. I'm like, this is just a complete ramp down of Wii U, and we're getting some 3DS games, which is great, but it's they're in a nebulous kind of territory right now where they have to wait a little while and then start talking about the future. And so these were the games that they had to launch, and I was personally unimpressed, but I don't think that these games are necessarily aimed at me either, as a kind of a lapsed Nintendo fan.
I mean, well, what's interesting for me too is like, I feel like they weren't aimed at me, and that's bad. You know, like there was no oh crap moment for me at all.
Yeah, well, you thought they were building to that at the end, right? Like when they went in through the 30 years of Mario, you were like, this is gonna end with the reveal of the new 3D Mario or whatever.
Yeah, and then they didn't. I'm like, okay, great.
They've been announcing so much stuff leading up to this too. I was like, what is left for E3? It was like, because they just kept announcing more stuff, like the mobile. They announced that pretty early. So I don't know. I mean, I love the 3DS. So, I mean, I'm always really excited when they have anything for that. But it just sucks too, because it's like, I want to play those games that are out for Wii. I want to take them with me.
Yep.
You know, it's like,
hopefully you will with the NX.
Yes.
Throw it up.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting to me that there wasn't a Metroid Prime or 3D Mario or something substantial, like a substantial surprise that we didn't know
Mario
about.
Galaxy 3?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Right. Where the fuck is that?
I predicted that they would end with some sort of nebulous. They would really. My particular guess was that they would tease Metroid, and they wouldn't say what console it was on. It would end up being that next game, but they're not showing any of these games because they're not going to be Wii U games, and so like, why even like? They're probably developing a Mario game, and they realized maybe sometime a year or two ago, they're like, we're going to send this thing out to die, you know, and maybe we should wait.
Yeah.
And so I think that you're going to see Mario on, you know, maybe as a launch game for NX.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
And that would be really cool.
Yeah.
But why announce anything for Wii U anymore?
No, you're making good points.
You know what I mean?
It makes sense. It's just not fun. You know,
No,
this
I
is
agree.
E3, and like, I have been arguing for years that these directs are equal to press conferences, and I don't understand when people are like, oh, they don't have a press conference. It's like, what's the difference?
You don't need it.
It's the same thing. Like, you're getting trailers, you're getting announcements.
Here we got puppets, and there's no technical difficulties.
There's a different atmosphere, and it is kind of weird, but it's like, and specifically because it's a different day than the rest of the press conferences, but it's always been that way.
Yeah.
But for them to come out and not have those big moments, especially when the last couple of days have been full of like huge, oh my god moments, it's like, man, Nintendo, you're making this hard for me. You're making this hard for me to be like, Dude, no, the directs are great. They're awesome.
See, I feel like this is the third year in a row you've said that.
No.
That Nintendo's making it hard for you.
No, last year was awesome. I loved it. All the Smash stuff.
Listen, dude.
You kidding me?
You're gonna. I've already learned that I draw the ire of the Nintendo fans out there, right? But you just have to be honest with it. They don't. They've not spoken to me for a long time, and maybe they're just not even speaking to you that much anymore. These things are happening. It's clear the Wii U's barely sold 9 million units. Clearly, they're not speaking to many people. So it's not like it's an uncommon kind of thing. There's nothing wrong with it.
You know, for sure. I totally get that, but I don't even want to be that negative about it. I am negative about this Direct. I was not thrilled by it, and I did want to be. Like, it was not the announcements I was looking for, and it's not even that I was expecting anything. I just expected to be surprised and excited, and I'm not so much. Am I excited about Mario Maker, Star Fox, Yoshi's Woolly World? Yes.
Yoshi's
Animal
Woolly
Crossing?
World
No.
looks awesome.
No, I'm not an Animal Crossing guy. I'll leave that to you.
It's okay.
But I'm so excited about those games, but I knew about them.
Yeah.
And I've been knowing about them, and I can't wait to play them. But
I really was expecting that there was going to be something that we didn't already know.
Yep.
Yeah.
How
I
many-
thought they would at least tease the future without teasing the future.
Yeah. Did they ever say how many units they've sold of like the new 3DS?
Not the new one, I don't think. No, I mean 3DS is doing fine.
Yeah.
It's not doing DS numbers, but it's working. And a game like Yokai Watch coming over from Level 5 is a great Japanese developer. They did most recently did Ni no Kuni, but they've been around for a long time. They did Dark Cloud and Rogue Galaxy and all these games. They're a great developer, and Yokai Watch was huge. So the fact that they're bringing these games over and translating them. And even games like Fire Emblem Crush and Shin Megami Tensei and stuff shows that the 3DS is viable in the West.
Yeah.
Like I don't think they're worried about the 3DS.
Yeah, the vast library grows.
Yeah, like there's definitely a hardcore audience that buys these games, and I don't think they're worried about any of that kind of stuff. I think their bigger problem is just like in the console space and in the future. And again, this is just an in-between year. This is just a bad year for them because they have to just get everything out that's in the pipeline and clear the pipeline and then start. Yeah, with the NX, as Greg likes to keep doing his X symbol, of course.
Well, it's hard too because they paved the way with like, all right, they launched the Wii U first, so
Yeah.
already once that was out, it was already outdated.
Yeah, it's a shame, and that's why I just I feel for them. Like, Nintendo got me in the games, and I love Nintendo. I want to see Nintendo come back and just be like, we want you back now, and this is what we're gonna do for for people like you because I'm not the only one, right? Like we've talked about, with the exception of the Wii, which was the anomaly, ever since NES, the sales decline in Nintendo has been precipitous. NES sold this, SNES sold below that, N64 sold below that, GameCube sold below that, and then the Wii was the big spike, and then Wii U is awful. Wii U's in sub Dreamcast levels.
So Wii U is awful in terms of sales.
Right.
And like, I know that's all you're saying, but it's like, man,
That is
I
what
love
I'm
my
saying.
Wii U.
I was
And by
like,
the
I love
time-
mine too.
Yeah, but by the time that we get these games, Mario Maker, Star Fox, and Yoshi, the Wii U is going to have a very solid library that is for sure worth the purchase. I think it already is. Just for Mario Kart and Smash and like Mario 3D World, those 3 games alone make it worth the investment to me. And adding these, it's like definitely. It's a great system that I've played a lot of great games on. But
I had a good time playing Mario Party.
Yeah.
I mean, these are the type of things that kind of brings back, like, actually having people over to your house and playing games together. So kind of like going back to sort of, I don't know, how it used to be. Back in the day when we
That
didn't,
local play.
when we didn't play, Call of Duty Online and just,
had fun.
yeah.
I believe that Nintendo, they don't have, in a way, they don't have anything to turn around. They make money. They're very lucrative. They're doing their thing. They're making more casual games now with DNA and stuff in Japan, with their cell phone games and stuff like that. But I do believe that they can turn things around. They just have to figure it out. They have the greatest game design and development talent in the entire industry. So that's taken care of. You just have to proliferate those games and get people to buy your console. That's why I was surprised that they didn't cut the price. Like Wii U is way too expensive. And I would buy, like, we share basically a Wii U and an Xbox One. That's why I don't buy them for because Greg has it. It's like, well, I'm not going to buy them, but I buy my own just for Virtual Console. If it was say like $150, I'm not spending more than that on a Wii U. So I'm surprised. Like, I was sure in our predictions when we did our predictions that they were going to cut the price of the Wii U.
Yeah.
And
Because
maybe they still will. I just feel like they don't need E3 to make the announcements.
Yeah.
And it kind of reminds me of like when Apple was like, you know what, we're not going to make all of our announcements here. We're going to have our own separate things because they used to make them all at Macworld. And they're like, no, we're going to pull away from that so that we can do anything we want when we want. And I feel like it's kind of cool that they're sort of, I don't know, embracing other things like
Yeah,
the
I love the
mobile
Directs.
and the Skylanders, which I think that's huge for them.
Yeah.
It is,
So,
yeah.
do you play Skylanders?
No.
Okay, cool. Good.
I've
good.
never owned a Skylander in my life, but then when the Amiibos
Now you're about to
came out-
own 2.
Yeah. I know, right?
Exactly. Yeah, but something about the Amiibo when they first came out, I was like, these are awesome. This is cool, even though they don't do very much. I mean, I liked being able to, whenever playing Smash, take your little character to somebody else's house.
Yep, and do all that
And it
stuff.
carries over your clone. So
So, Justine, what do you think about the 3DS games announced? Like, there was a handful of them. We got Zelda Triforce Heroes, Hyrule Warriors Legends, Metroid Prime, Federation Force, new Fire Emblem, and then Animal Crossing Happy Home.
Never played Fire Emblem, so I'm not really sure.
Okay.
So I
well,
can't really comment.
I can tell you, it's going to be
sorry.
good. It's going to be really good. And then there was Mario and Luigi Paper Jam.
I'm excited about those. Right now I'm playing Lego Jurassic World, which is pretty exciting. Yeah, I don't know. I love the DS games because it's like, when you're traveling and you're going places. And I love the street passes. I think that's something that all of us DS Nintendo fans, we really love that. So I love all of like the mini DS games. So I'm hoping that they do some more kind of stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, you want to talk about the predictions?
Oh yeah.
Sure.
You want to bring those up?
Okay. Well, I want to call out. We talked about in the beginning. Yoshi's Woolly World did get a release date on this thing.
What is it?
When
It's
was
not
that?
good news for you.
Damn it. Are you serious?
It's in Australia, June 25th.
Yeah.
In Europe, June 26th. In Japan, July 16th. Here in the United States, October 16th.
I'm sorry, what? Do you want to go to Australia?
Yeah, let's go to Australia.
All right, let's go.
I need that
That
Yoshi
would be a
amiibo.
problem. Wii U's
Man.
not backwards compatible, obviously, right? Or not backwards compatible,
Region
region
locked?
free. So, right, it's that's an issue.
My God.
That's unfortunate.
When I went to Australia, I wanted one of the white DSs so bad. So I bought one and then I bought like 2 games
Greg's bringing
there.
it. Greg's
So
got
it's
it.
all region locked, but anytime I travel outside the US, I can play my DS.
Oh, good. So you got that on lock.
I will say,
Here's Colin putting me away.
I will say to your point about the direct format before we get into the predictions that we made. I like the direct format. I think that you lose and you gain things by doing it, right? You don't have like that Todd Howard moment at Bethesda where he's clearly going off script, right? You don't have the exciting moment to bring people out on stage. You don't have like things that make it more personal, like Aisha Tyler doing Ubisoft and clearly vamping half the time. I think that kind of stuff's exciting. You lose
She
that.
saved that press conference.
Yeah.
I mean, you could tell sometimes I was like, this is not going well, and she saves it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, and so you like they have a more metered approach, a more structured approach that Nintendo is like that. They don't want to risk any leaks. They don't want to do those kinds of things. But you lose a little bit of, you get personality from Reggie and those guys, but you also lose a little bit of personality, I think. So I think there's like I would love to see them back in person.
It becomes that
at
controlled
E3.
message.
Yeah, and I think that you will see them at E3 next year. Like
For NX?
Yeah, for NX and all these new things. I think they will come back in a big way, and I think it might have even been an intentional thing the last couple of years to be like, let's step away for a minute, and then we'll come back in a major way, and shake things up a little bit. You know
I
what
got chills. I like that.
Yeah, that's really
I would
exciting.
love to see that.
Anyway, Greg.
Yeah.
We did the predictions, as everyone knows, on Podcast Beyond that Greg and I did for years. We used to do PlayStation predictions. It was a game that we like to play for E3. So we did it for every company.
Right.
And we did it for Nintendo.
Yes.
Now you got a point here, and this is complete
I know.
garbage. So I'm gonna have to take that out. So Greg's 5 predictions were Amazon. Nintendo would make up with Amazon. Nintendo products will be sold normally and not through third party on Amazon. That happened before the show, so Greg will get a point for that. Greg predicted the return of Nintendogs. He was wrong about that.
I'm going to give Greg a half point for, because there were dogs. There were Nintendogs.
I didn't say how the Nintendogs
In the,
would return.
little
Jesus.
Mario.
0.5. 0.5, everybody.
Zelda on Wii U. Zelda Wii U gets a release date set for summer 2016.
No mention of it. What the fuck?
I mean, they said they weren't going to mention it, so
Well, I
you
know,
would've-
but they didn't.
you assume that they were lying to you.
Yeah.
Greg said no mention of NX. He got a point here, but they clearly did mention NX, so I'm going to have to dispute that. And his 5th prediction was Mario game. We see the next main Mario game, a teaser is shown, will be an evolution of the Galaxy series coming to Wii U, and that didn't happen as well. And then my predictions were Star Fox would open the show. You'd see an intensive look, and it's dated. It didn't receive a release
He
date.
just said holiday 2015.
Well, I know
Alright,
that Miyamoto said that Star Fox would be out before Zelda. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, yeah. So holiday 2015 and Zelda's 2016.
So my prediction that Star Fox would be there and it would open the show both. Give me, I guess, 0.66 points. I said that we would get a significant price drop of 40%. That didn't happen. Smash Brothers, significant time showing DLC characters, and then the Ice Climbers, my beloved Ice Climbers, would come back. Got half a point for that. I predicted that we would see DNA's games for the first time. They will release this fall, and then we would be able to identify some of them and all of these kinds of things. That didn't happen. And then I said NX. They would tease an NX game, although you wouldn't know it was an NX game. It would be Metroid by Retro Studios, and no game, release date or any other indication of it, even name. That didn't happen either. So
Yeah. So there we go.
Greg technically won this portion, even though he got a point that he didn't deserve. So we're gonna have to dispute
do you
that.
get like a prize or something, like an amiibo, or
Just,
Do you-
It doesn't matter. You
Give
clowned
him
me
a
out the
Mounds
entire
bar.
thing. You're up 17.
Give him a Mounds bar.
Yeah, please give me a Mounds bar. We got to talk about that, Justine.
I don't want to talk about it. I'm
like,
honestly, if you tweet me one more time about the Mounds bar,
you're
like, I'm
clowning me
gonna
out
lose
with
my mind. I'm sorry.
7.26 to what really is 2.5. But like, do we really count that
don't you
significant
rock,
time?
paper,
I mean,
scissors
they had
it?
their own for Smash. Like Smash had its own direct. Does that count?
Yeah,
I
it
thought we're
does
talking about the press conferences.
No, that counts.
I think that
E3.
I think that
That's
counts. I think
significant
that counts.
time. It was
If that-
18 minutes.
I'll remove this if you remove that, and then I'm just going to gain another point.
Nah, that's
probably.
fine then.
Yeah, that's the one thing we didn't talk about was the Smash Bros. Direct. We didn't talk about that at all.
Yeah.
Because we've been busy doing a lot of other stuff. I thought it was excellent. I love that they are still announcing new characters. Ryu is going to be awesome. Very excited to play as him when we get home. And I love that it's released now, that we can go play as all the characters.
That's
I
really
love that
cool.
Roy's back because he was my boy back in Melee. Super random. I can't believe they did that. Random choice, and
Random
I'm sure
ass
you
Roy.
loved that, Colin.
Oh,
More Fire Emblem characters.
Yeah, more Fire Emblem characters that are indistinguishable from one another. I'm very excited about that.
Well, Roy has red hair.
Yeah, definitely. He definitely does have red hair. I understand that they said that the Ice Climbers cannot work based on they got them running on Wii U but not on 3DS basically during development. I don't believe that that's a thing. I was thinking about it. I'm like, I just accepted that as the explanation of why my beloved Ice Climbers are not in this game. And then I'm like, but there are 8 characters at a time on the screen.
It's a
And you
lot.
couldn't get the Ice Climbers to work? It doesn't make any sense.
Well, especially because there's Rosalina and Luma, and they're two.
It's tough. It's total nonsense. It's a total nonsense thing.
It's weird. The most
Just admit that
exciting
no one
thing-
played as them, and that's why you didn't put it in.
That's
all right?
not. That is not. They'll be back. I think they'll be
Playing
back.
Smash on DS was the most painful thing I've
Yeah,
ever
it's-
done.
it's
I can't,
definitely something.
Can't do it.
It's still fun though.
It's like I can't see the screen.
Yeah.
Like where did my character go?
I still love it. I
Popo Nana.
The most exciting thing to me about the Smash announcement was the fact that they said that there's going to be more stages coming. There was the Mushroom Kingdom and Hyrule Castle from the N64 version that are coming. They didn't put a date on that. They just said, "Oh, there's more coming. It'll be there." That excites me because that says there's going to be more DLC. This is not the end because Mario Kart had its 2 DLC packs and that was kind of it. But this shows that they're still going to be giving more Serious Climbers. They'll make their return.
I hope so, man. I play as the king, and I'm happy to do it, but because DDD he's just the man, and he's also
he dominates.
he dominates, and he's a crazy person, and he's a sociopath, and everyone knows it. But he's no Ice Climbers,
Yeah, he ain't.
Few are.
and while I think I'm competent with the king, I think I'll bring my game back to the next level with the Ice Climbers.
Yeah. You just climb up.
I
there.
play as the Wii Fit trainer, so
You can play as the Wii Fit trainer in
Yeah.
Mario Maker now.
I saw that's amazing.
That's weird. That doesn't
Really,
make sense.
really,
I love
really
her.
exciting. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Kind of Funny Gamescast for Nintendo's Direct E3 2015. Thank you so much. We're about to get crazy. We're doing the whole GameSpot live show the next couple days. So check us out at gamespot.com/E3. Is that correct, Greg?
That you nailed it.
Damn.
GameSpot cross kind of
Nailed
funny.
You done did
Thank
it.
you so much. You guys are awesome. See you next. And thank you, Justine. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
thank you, Justine.
You were
I love you
wonderful. You were
guys.
incredible.
This is so exciting.
You are now
Thank you
one of
very
the
much.
coolest dudes in video games.
I love being a dude.